Hello. When was the last video? The last video was Saturday. Since then, what has happened? What have I done? Not much, if I'm being completely honest. Both Sunday and Monday, and I suppose Tuesday as well, I went to bed early, hoping to wake up early, and then found myself dreaming a forgettable dream for 12, 13, 14 hours. Like, I'd go to bed in the AM probably around 2, and then I'd wake up at noon and feel like I just didn't want to get out of bed, and I'd resume my dream, and then it'd be time for work. It's been a very unproductive week. However, today was different, because today I was woken up quite early, at least for me, like around 10 p.m. With how I've been sleeping lately, it felt quite early, and then I was rushed to get dressed and help my dad clean out a bunch of garbage and recyclables from renovations. The whole thing put me in a foul mood at the time, and I just wanted to go back to sleep. What upset me the most is they woke me up very early and then expected me to get right to physical labour 5 minutes after waking me up. No coffee, no shower, no nothing, just up, clothes, go, carry 80 pounds of whatever the hell we need to shove into the vehicle. Either way, that was the start of my day, and I decided that if I'm going to have an extremely inconvenient and painful morning, then I should have an extremely inconvenient and painful day, and I decided that today would be the day that I'd finally deal with my car stereo. The first step was getting the car onto blocks so it was raised above the ground and I could get under the engine without having my head be crushed by the vehicle. Then the next step was tearing apart the interior and getting a closer look at all of the wiring in there, and then yanking out what wires weren't needed. After significant close inspection of the rear speakers of the car, I came to find that there are a dozen things a dozen sets of wires that connect to nothing on both sides. I think one of them exists for an expansion for an OEM subwoofer that my car does not have, but There were two sets of wires meant to run to the speakers that were running to nothing, not even to ground. So I had to yank those out and then rewire the speakers and then figure out what was going on behind the head units and rip apart the center console to pull out the wires from under. It was a mess, and it was my entire evening. Most of the time was spent ripping stuff out, but around 6 p.m. I started reattaching wires and sort of fastening them together, which I don't think I was as prepared for as I should have been, and I might have to redo it if I'm being honest. Because around 8 p.m, when I thought I had everything wired correctly, I reconnected the battery and turned on the car, and the new radio, well, the new head unit lit up, and I connected it to Bluetooth. I connected the antennae, but no sound came out. So it's getting power, but the speakers aren't doing anything. Are they broken? I don't know. There's a chance I broke one or two of them during testing, because I had to test to figure out which wires did what. The great thing about all of the wires is none of them are labelled, and my resource for figuring out which wires are which are a bunch of second-hand accounts and manuals, or speaker installation manuals, for the same car in a different year. So, there are 2 identically sized red wires, 2 identically sized yellow wires, 2 identically sized black wires, and 2 identically sized blue wires. One of each pair runs to a speaker, and then the other of the pair runs to a crucial system of the car. And I'm pretty sure I figured out which is which through process of elimination, because the red and yellow ones that aren't the speaker ones will electrocute you if you touch them. So I attached them to a light bulb, and it shorted out the car, which... No, that wouldn't damage the speakers, they weren't even connected. I figured out which is which. I got a multimeter to test them as well, but results from that were inconclusive. Still, I went with what I had, and now I have a working head unit, but no working speakers. So we're back to square one, sort of. I tried to enlist the help of one of my friends who's a little more auto-mechanically inclined, I suppose. He has more experience working on vehicles than I do. But unfortunately, he was out living his life. When I called him, he was at work, and then after work he had a date. But he said he might be... he's down to do it tomorrow. But I haven't heard back from him yet. So he's hoping, else I have to troubleshoot it myself, which will be a pain in the ass. I don't know why I paused so long there. Okay. I sort of feel like I have a busy... I just about inhaled my own tongue there, what the hell? A busy next few days, because I have to wrap up optimizations and rigging on the current model I'm working on. I might have to pull a long night for that one, actually. And again, at some point, I think tomorrow, my friend said he wanted to go to karaoke, but I haven't heard from him on that since. And on Friday, I plan to go out with one of my friends to go look for cameras in thrift stores, because I got complimented by different people on my photography, right? Like, the ones I've posted as album covers and such have been complimented by one of you. But I do post pictures I take, not the same pictures I post on YouTube. Oh wow, what is that? Anyway, I post more doxing pictures on Instagram. And sort of looking at the ones on Instagram and then looking at the ones I took with the disposable camera way back makes me really want to get a camera that has that filmic look to it. So I went researching, and it seems the general consensus is if you want a digital camera that has that filmic look to it, you get a Fujifilm XF10 or similar, right? But generally speaking, Fujifilm is the way to go. However, the baseline for a Fujifilm camera, price-wise, seems to be $1,000, which is money I don't have. So, rather than stare at the $1,000 price tag on Amazon and feel my wallet slowly loosen, me and my friend who I was discussing cameras with decided it would be best to go check local thrift stores for specifically cameras, but whatever else we can find as well. I've always been one... Actually, I can't say I've been in many thrift shops. Like, the thrift stores I usually go to are chains, right? They have some regulation to them with prices and whatnot. Standardized pricing, sort of. Like any given hat will be like $8, and any jacket will be like 20 something or otherwise. The only like non-chain ones is the Antique Mall, and that's the only one I can think of actually. There was one deep in the mountains somewhere that I went to, and they had a number of interesting electronics, but I was in high school at the time and I had no money, so I didn't pick anything up from there. I do remember that thrift store in the mountains though having a lot of Zippo lighters, which I had sort of an odd obsession with those when I was at whatever age that was, like 16 maybe, something like that. Maybe older, maybe younger. No, I think younger. Wow, I don't actually know. I could consult the chart, but I'm not going to. Regardless, I just like the idea of having this little thing I could flip open and flip shut, and had a metallic finish or cool engraving or cool colour or whatever, as sort of like a character item. And then it's always handy to have a lighter around, right? It's a very strange character in high school and middle school, even more so. I was always obsessed with this, like, well, not obsessed, but like, I was always half committed to the bit of being a no good, what's the word? I don't think ruffian is the word, but like street kid who with bad grades and always wears black baggy clothes and is probably doing drugs, but they haven't caught him yet. I was always half committed to that bit. But everybody around me was so straight-laced and so kind that I never really had the chance to actually fall into that category. Like, if my friends were of that category, I would be, well, I'd be in a very different place in life, but I'd be on whatever drugs, doing whatever terrible things, right? I'd probably have lung cancer by this point. Sometimes I think about how sad I've been, right? Like how hard it is to get out of bed, because I can't think of anything to do once I'm out of it, so why bother? Or like, I hate my job, and my friends are always too busy to hang about with their jobs, and nobody I want to hang out with in person is in town these days. Well, now that the semester has started, that's the case, but like, and summer is over, and everything fun happens in the summer. But then I think about, well, I think to myself, like, maybe if I'd made a different choice and I'd sent myself down a different path, I'd be in a better place emotionally right now. But then I think harder about it, and I think I've come to the conclusion that I'm probably in the best timeline. Not for the world's sort of a mess, generally speaking, but for myself, this is probably the best timeline. I don't hate myself. I get sad, but it's not out of self-loathing. Some days I look in the mirror and I go, wow, that guy looks like total shit. But other days I look at myself at the right angle and I go, wow, I'm cute. Look at that little guy. Look at him go. And I think that's good. I think that's a good way to be. I don't think I'm narcissistic, but I don't know. Lost in thought. I'm going to take off my headset. So, something about it being on my head, there's just this increased pressure. Not really vibing with it right now. I'm thinking about now those memes. Well, the better way to phrase that, like to make it a more natural start of a conversation, I suppose, would be to say, like, have you heard of those? Do you know those? Right? Do you know those memes? Have you heard of those memes? Instead of saying what I'm thinking about now, like I'm some sort of dictation reading out what's on the screen inside my head. But regardless, holy fuck, I'm saying I'm a lot. And I'm swearing so much, I'm sorry. I had an angry day. Those memes where it's like, when I finally catch the guy that's been ruining my life, and then it's like somebody pointing a gun at themselves, or a gun at, not at themselves, but at their own reflection. And every day I wake up, or like I get through another day and I think about all of the things I missed out on that day or failed to do that day because I forgot. I sort of like look at myself in the mirror and know that the guy I'm looking at is the bastard responsible for all my shortcomings on that day. But I can't blame him because he's me. It would be great if I could blame him and he wasn't me. Imagine. This is a stupid hypothetical. Like, every other day you're a different person. Or every day, well, there are two of you, and every other day you experience the day, but you share memories. You share the memories, but not the, like, sensation of the experience. Like, today I'm person A, and then tomorrow I'll be person B, and then the next day I'll be person A again. And person A remembers everything person B did on their day, or on any of their days, but they don't feel it. So theoretically, person B could be the one responsible for all of your problems. I don't know, stupid hypothetical. See, now that it's coming up on fall again, I'm reminded of the spiral I was sent down that led to me starting this channel. I was drinking a lot. Well, not a lot. It felt like a lot because I never drank. It was like once or twice a week on my weekends. But it'd be a strong drink, so it'd be like 0 to 100, and I'd always be on call with people. I had a beverage I'd make, which is just, I think I've mentioned it before, I call it Blue Drank. And it's, oh, what is that? It's Bacardi, like raspberry Bacardi, which is some very strong, actually, what even is this? I don't remember. Is it rum? 35% alcohol. It's either rum or whiskey, I don't remember. Either way, just thinking about it gives me a headache because it's very strong. But I'd mix that with a lot of ginger ale and then blue raspberry syrup which I happened upon in a store once and thought, surely that tastes good, but now the thought of it makes me want to puke. And I would never ingest it again. But I would drink a glass of that every weekend night. I don't even know why. Didn't make me feel that great. I say every weekend night, I don't even think it was that frequent. There were a few times over Christmas, and I didn't get the bottle until halfway through December, and then a few times in January, and then I don't know if I drank at all in February, but I know I started this around then. Yeah. Too much to think about. Too much thinking. I need to do that less, hey? Need to think less. Need to make more music. I haven't written any proper songs in like 2 weeks. Well, that's not true. I've recorded a few things, but I haven't uploaded them or checked on them again. They're still just like on the Tascam. I should probably take them off of the Tascam. Yeah, my memory's really failing me, hey? Like, I can remember my days, but not my thoughts. Well, at least not when I want to. No, that's not right. This thought, or that statement, stemmed from me thinking about what I was going to do this evening. I was going to try to learn a song or two by Catfish and the Bottlemen, because I feel like a few of them might be fine on acoustic. At the very least, they'd be playable, and I'd have more songs to choose from. But at some point between me showering and recording this, I'd completely forgotten I even wanted to do that. I might be dehydrated. I think I am. The water's in the other room. I'll get water after this, actually, I think. Well, I'm going to bed after this. Maybe I'll upload this in the morning. No. Yes? No? I don't know. Okay, here's what we'll do. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop recording and get water, edit, upload, and while this is rendering and uploading, I'm going to watch an episode of an anime, and then I'm going right to bed. That's the plan. We're going to stick to it, and if everything goes according to the plan, I will wake up tomorrow, fix my car, finish the model, and then be ready to take on Friday, and maybe also karaoke tomorrow. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna stop the video now. If you... my bloody chair. If you... let me get close to the mic. If you manage to fall asleep in the 30 minutes that this video has been going on for, Congratulations. I'm very impressed. And if you've been awake the whole time, I'm sorry, but you may need a change of pace. There's this Minecraft YouTuber whose name I can't remember, but his videos are all on like real life geology in Minecraft, like the ore distribution and how it equates to real life or something. His videos are visually like very interesting because all of his like PowerPoint animated visuals are done in Minecraft. And I have yet to make it through an entire one of his videos without falling asleep. So if you need a change of pace, maybe that will work. If you're watching this or listening to this, more likely in the morning, good morning. Everybody else is going to bed. I got nothing else to say. I don't know what to say to the morning people right now. Anyway, good night. Bye-bye.